Okay, now append finally brought us to the array section. So let's see what arrays are. For all of you that you have programming background, array is obvious, so you don't need to even spend time with it. But for everybody else, considering that this is a beginner course and I do not put the programming experience as a prerequisite for this course, I will go through it very quickly. First of all, arrays in Power Automate are defined with JavaScript object notation. Don't let this silly name scare you. It has nothing to do with programming. It's a way that we define objects that I will get there in a minute. So at the moment, don't worry about it. Array is a list of variables in a certain order that they all have the same data type. Okay, but what does that mean? I have an array of students: James, Alice, Chris, Gazanfar, and Sarah. I have height: 167, 140, 177, 255, and 230. As you can see, an array of students, they all have the same data type. They are all strings. If I'm talking about an array of height, they are all numbers. So it's an array of integers. So the bottom line is that if you want to have a list of values that you want to refer to all of them using one name, you have an array. So array is a variable that can contain multiple values of the same type inside it. So it's a very useful one because we can navigate through all of them using apply to each. And for example, picking the largest one, doing the calculations, adding sum, and all those things. Fantastic. Now let's see how we can convert those arrays into the language that Power Automate can understand. So basically, JavaScript object notation. It's very simple. Students, we put it inside square brackets. And remember, in JSON and Power Automate, square bracket represents an array. So whatever that is inside the square bracket is considered an array, and every element is separated from the other element by comma. Strings are enclosed in double quote. And if you're working with numbers, we don't need to enclose them in double quote. As simple as that. Now, if you want to navigate through all those elements, we use apply to each. If we want to add another element to that array, we use append action. Great. Let's see it in action. You guessed it. I go to flow.microsoft.com. I click on create. And just like before, the simplest one is going to be instant flow. I give it a name as array demo 01 and manually trigger a flow. I click on create and a flow is created. Now we start by creating a variable. So I add a variable. I click on initialize variable and I give it a name as students. The type, obviously, is going to be array, and the value that we put inside it is the list of students that we already got. Same format. Square bracket, every value is enclosed in double quote and separated by comma. That's it. Of course, it could be numbers, and those numbers did not require the double quote. The only thing is that they all have to be exactly the same data type. In this case, they are all string. Great. Now, after the array is created, let me just save it quickly. After the array is created, we want to be able to add more elements to it using append. So if I click on new step, I can again go to variables, and I have something called append to array variable. Once I pick it up, I can click on the name dropdown and it will pick up all the available arrays in this flow, which I have only one. So I click on students, and the new value that I want to add must be the type that I defined here. Here it's string, so here under append to array variable, I just add direct string called Ali Reza. Because it's inside Power Automate, now this one has nothing to do with JSON. So when I put the value here, it assumes that it is a string, unless I really cast it to something else. And I'm really good with that. Done, done. Now let's click on the new step. I click on Compose. I want to add Compose here so that I can see the final outcome of the student's variable. So I expect to see everything that I have here in the array, and the last element must be my own name. So let me click on Save, click on Test. I'll perform the trigger action, test, run flow just like before. Done. Successfully done. So initialize variable created an array variable, apply to array, added one element to it, and the final result is going to be all these names plus my name in the end. And that was all about it. So simply we created an array and we used append to array variable to add another element to it. And this style can go on and on. Regardless, probably you're not going to use it that much in this course unless you really work with expression, but I decided to put it in this course so you have an introduction to an array. Now, next lecture is going to be objects. But before I get into objects, I need to have a word with you. The reality is that as a business user, if you want to create your flow, most probably you really don't need to work with the objects and the JavaScript object notation. But I will have a quick review, and the reason that I put it in the crash course is that at least I have one benefit of using object to improve the maintainability of your flow. So that's up to you. Next lecture, you can skip it and continue with the rest of the course without any interruption. If you really want to go there, if you're not familiar with JavaScript object notation, I have already created a course on Udemy. Just look up JSON Crash Course. Most probably you will not see it on the top of the list when you search for this course because it's a free course, but just look it up. It's free and it's only 1 hour. You really don't need to do any work with it. Just watch it to the end. It gives you a good grasp of what JSON is, and then move on to the next chapter. Regardless, after you are done with this course, you need JSON if you want to continue with the advanced topics like expressions. Now I leave that to you. If you think you're comfortable with JSON, let's move on with the next lesson and continue with the objects. If not, I'll see you there after you are done with the JSON. And if you really don't feel like going through the JSON at the moment, just skip the next lecture and I'll see you in the next section.